So let's talk about issues that come up when remodeling a older home or historic home. One of the biggest things that you might find is dampness or mold. And so when we had bought this house, we knew it was an older home, and this picture actually shows a water closet that's on the outside of the home that did have some mold, and we were aware of this. So we knew there might be a little bit, but from our inspection report, this was as far as we knew was the problem. So we then decided that we wanted to clean the air ducts because we knew they probably hadn't been done in a while. And so you can see from this picture here, we got off the plane and we decided to clean the air ducts. But to what we didn't know was that the air conditioner was never cleaned, and we had actually asked that before we had bought the house for them to clean it themselves, and it had not been done. And so there was some retribution there because they did not do the things that they were asked to do before we had bought the house. And you will see, as from these pictures here, the air conditioner was actually full of mold, and you'll see the pictures here that it was black mold, and we knew that was something that we couldn't do. So we then knew that we needed to replace it, and you can see from these pictures here just how gross it was on the inside. And then as we pulled out the air conditioning unit, we then found the air ducts were also problematic, which did not also show up on the inspection report. And that was something that was really problematic because we now knew that there was mold in the air ducts. So now we had to not only replace all the air conditioning unit, but now we had to replace the air ducts. And so that's something that just kind of comes up. And again, it was a pricey thing that came up. We were upwards of $12,000 to $14,000 in replacing all those things that we were not aware of. So just be aware of there's going to be things that will just show up, and it's good to have kind of that emergency backup fund just in case those things do happen to show up. So one other thing that we noticed in this house was that there was still a couple of leaks, which we thought was strange because we had just changed the roof. And one day there was a big storm and the water was coming through our French patio doors. And we then opened up the French patio doors and realized, as you can see from this picture, there's wood rot. And when there's wood rot, it usually means that there's been a leak for a while. So sure enough, we did more digging. We go upstairs, and in the media room, we noticed that there was a puddle of water stain that was in the ceiling that we normally wouldn't have noticed because there usually was a popcorn ceiling, but because we were taking out the popcorn ceiling, we were able to see this water stain easier. And then we noticed it was also coming through the water sockets. So then we started to dig a little deeper and we look into the attic, and sure enough, you can see from this picture that there is wood rot, and it was right next to the chimney on the top floor. And it was a smaller place. It was a chamber that even the roofing professional didn't catch because it was a smaller area, but because it was leaking, it was causing problems in multiple parts of the house, which made me worry that there was mold in the house. And sure enough, we opened up the walls, and you can see from the socket here that there was some mold, and so we had to take out the drywall, take out the insulation, and you can see from this next picture that there was a big gap from the top floor to the bottom floor. My son thought it was kind of fun, but we knew we had to close it up for that reason, for safety reasons. And we put a new drywall, we put a new insulation, because when there's mold, it can spread, so you just have to get rid of it. And you can see some of these after pictures. But the thing that I want you to take away is that if there is a leak somewhere, it's something to where you need to address it really sooner than later, because just like with ours, it was a little leak that we may not have thought much of, like maybe there was like a little problem with the patio door, but when we opened it up, we were noticing that there's rot, which means that there was a continuous leak, and sure enough, it would cause mold. So you know that if there's a little issue, there could be a bigger issue down the road. So don't ignore those little leaks and try to discover where those can be, and then get those sealed up so it doesn't cause any more issues.